Hi, I'm Renée Walker, a mindset mentor, speaker, and lover of all things spiritual. I believe that at our core, we are all spiritually wired for love, peace, success, and abundance. Here on the podcast, we're diving into mindset, wellness, and business, but always through a spiritual lens. Let's just say we're going deep, but we're keeping it light. So let's elevate your life from the inside out, one conversation at a time. Welcome to Spiritually Wired. Welcome back to Spiritually Wired. I am so happy that you're here with me. This episode today is for person who is maybe feeling stuck, feeling maybe a little tired, burnt out, like they are not doing what they know they want to do, and in the process, starting to doubt themselves. So if your motivation is feeling low, and it seems as if your to-do list is just growing, but you just can't seem to take the action to move forward, this episode is for you. And it is a reminder that you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not behind. You may be either out of alignment or perhaps avoiding your next level. So let's talk about this a little bit more. I'll share a story. So I am very committed to my health goals. And part of that is moving my body and getting on the Peloton. So I had a plan yesterday. My morning was all set up and I was going to get on the bike, do a 30-minute ride in the morning. And so I first went for my walk with our dog, which I do every morning, did my meditation and writing, and then it was time to hop on the bike. And I proceeded to probably clean every part of my kitchen because I was avoiding getting on the bike. I just didn't feel like it. That's the reality. In that moment, I did not feel like it. I was happy to do every other task that felt like it needed to be done instead of doing that. So the thing is, I didn't want to go on the bike because I was avoiding the discomfort. I knew it was going to feel, I knew I was going to be working hard, and I didn't feel like working hard in that moment, pushing and sweating and all the effort. But eventually I did. I got on the bike, I had an amazing ride, and I felt so good after. But here's the key. The key is that it required me to feel the resistance and still do it. Most of the time where we get stuck is that we are waiting for the resistance to leave before we take action. And that rarely happens. The only way to release or dissolve the resistance is by moving through it, by taking action. So when you are resisting the resistance, you're giving it more power, but by actually taking the action, yes, it may not be what you want to do, but in the action is where the resistance itself starts to dissolve, and then all of a sudden you're enjoying whatever it is that you're doing. But it's that initial resistance that we spend so much time that we let dictate how it is that we are showing up. So if you can move through the resistance, then you know that on the other side is actually going to be whatever it is that you are working on, whatever your goal is, whatever your intention is. But you've got to be willing to move through that discomfort. Now, we tend to label the discomfort as being, misalignment, like, oh, maybe, and this is like the tough part, I will say, because we say, listen to your body, listen to what you need. But the reality is that if I was listening to my body in that moment, my body was saying, don't go on the Peloton. My body was saying, oh, let's just go, let's keep writing. Let's do another meditation. That feels more comfortable for me. I love that. I can stay in meditations for long periods of time. But what my actual body needed was movement, was sweat. And so that resistance doesn't mean that what it is that I want to do is not in alignment with my desires, with what it is that I'm wanting to create. Now, are there times when the resistance is a sign of this goal is no longer mine? This relationship no longer feels aligned. This environment is no longer for me? Absolutely. So resistance teaches us, but there is a difference between the two. So we can be either procrastinating, not taking action because it's something that no longer resonates with us, that is no longer in alignment, or we can be procrastinating, avoiding taking action because we are on the edge of doing something that is bigger. We are on the edge of creating change, of shifting into a new identity, of stepping outside of our comfort zone. And that resistance is there to keep us safe, to keep us small, to prevent us from doing anything too crazy, because as we know, the nervous system, your subconscious mind, your ego is there and to keep you safe, right? So whenever you're doing anything that's bigger, anything that's outside of your comfort zone, you're doing the big thing, there's going to be resistance because your subconscious mind wants to keep you safe, or the resistance is there to tell you this is not for you. So in this case, right, if I go back to, for me, of course, I knew that going on the Peloton, doing my workout was in alignment with my desires, with my goals. And so the resistance was there just to keep me in my comfort zone. So the real question, and this is how do we shift out of it? We shift out of these moments by sort of shaking it loose a little bit. We want to question it. We want to ask, where is this resistance coming from? You're noticing it. So of course, we always need self-awareness. We always need to first be aware of the fact that I knew it. I'm cleaning every counter. I'm doing, all of the things that don't really like doing, to be honest, but was doing it because I just had that moment of, oh my goodness, how long am I going to take to do this, instead of just going and doing what I know I need to do. So you first have to witness that resistance, but then it's asking, why is this here? And as I said, for me, it was clear why I was doing it. But when it's, other circumstances, is this no longer in alignment with who I am today? Have I outgrown this goal, this path, this version of myself? Or am I choosing comfort over growth? So you don't want to go somewhere. You're resisting going to this activity or going to this social event. Have I outgrown this? Is it because I'm resisting? I don't really want to be with the people that I'm going to be with. Maybe I've outgrown that social circle. Maybe it doesn't feel right anymore. Maybe I'm putting myself in a frequency that doesn't feel good. So questioning is how we start to reframe and we start to shift the perspective around it. So you can ask, okay, so is this no longer in alignment? Have I outgrown this this environment, this goal, these people, whatever it may be? Or is this me choosing comfort over growth? And again, there's never like right, wrong answer. We're just opening up the conversation. We're coming from a place of awareness where we are open. We are willing to ask, to pause. And the pause is always where the magic happens, right? The pause, that sacred pause, is where you get to be intentional, where you get to choose how you're going to show up. Now, I love to always connect with my future self in those moments. So you can ask yourself, or you can ask your future self, what would my future self say right now? Not the part of you that's trying to feel safe or stay small, and the version of you that's actually living in alignment with what it is that you're calling in. So if you're feeling resistance, so if you're building a business and you're feeling resistance around taking certain actions that you know will help you grow this business, step into the future self version of yourself that's already built the business, that already is attracting the clients and making the money and living the life that you are calling in, that you're desiring. When you're in that space and you ask yourself, what would she say right now? That is so much easier, because to me, it's very clear. If I'm stepping into the version of me, my future self, who is feeling strong and healthy and has, the created the changes, that the healing, the physical healing that I'm working through, you better believe that she's like, get yourself on that bike now and start pedaling and put on some good music and have some fun. She is cheering me on in that moment. So ask your future self what she would do. And that will really, I find it always unlocks something. And the thing is this, your future self is not going to be cheering you on to do something that's not in alignment, something that doesn't excite you. She's not going to cheer you on to go hang out with, people that may not have your best interest at heart, or cheer you on to do anything that is not for you. She knows, and she's guiding you towards what she knows is your truth, what is in alignment. So when you are in those moments and you're unsure and you're feeling that resistance, you're going to pause and take a deep breath. You can place your hand on your heart. I always love to place my left hand on my heart and my right hand on my belly, because it connects me to my heart chakra, my solar plexus. You take a deep breath and you ask, okay, is this resistance keeping me small, keeping me in my comfort zone, or is this resistance a sign that I'm actually in the process of expanding, of growing? And pause. And in that pause, allow for the answer to come. When we are doing this work, we're not forcing any answers. We're actually just allowing for the answers to come. And then you can check in. What is my future self telling me in this moment? And let that voice be your guide. Let it guide you towards where, or guides you through the resistance. Guide you through the resistance. Oh, I love this. And I really invite you to be in the energy of your future self and to really be present with resistance when it shows up for you, to trust that it's there teaching you in some way, either letting you know that you are not in alignment, or maybe letting you know that you are about to do something that is for you, that is supporting your growth, supporting your expansion. So with this, I want to remind you that you are spiritually wired always for love, for success, for connection, for growth, for expansion, for healing. I am sending so much love your way, and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening to Spiritually Wired. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow and leave a review. It really makes a big difference for the podcast. And if you're ready to dive deeper and join a soul-led community, come be a part of the Spiritually Wired membership. With weekly live lessons and a rich library of recorded classes, it's designed to support you every step of the way on your spiritual journey. We currently have a special offer where you can receive your first month for half the price. You can find a link in the show notes or come check it out at reneewalkerwellness.com. Until next time, remember to take some deep breaths. Remember that you are spiritually wired.